Hello everyone, I'm Jay Surya, founder of Project Ivy, a career counseling and admission consulting firm based out of India. When we talk about study abroad destinations, the default conversation is around US, UK or Canada. But today I want to talk about the world's top 15 university which sits right across the East and the West. The university that operates with the academic rigor of Oxford, but is situated in one of the most world's dynamic. We are breaking down the University of Hong Kong, HKU. Why should an Indian student look at HKU? Two reasons, the teaching style and the proximity. You get a British style education which is accredited globally at the fraction of a cost of a US degree, all while being a 5-hour flight from India. In this video, we'll talk about the education at HKU, the reality of create your own curriculum, and the specific academic grades that Indian students need to hit in order to get it. First one, let's look beyond the league tables and rankings. Founded in 1911, HKU is the oldest tertiary educational institution in Hong Kong. The history is important because it has established HKU's teaching philosophy. It is an English medium university built on the British colonial model. If you're comfortable with the Indian CBSE, ISC, Cambridge or even IB curriculum, you'll be very familiar and comfortable pursuing higher education in HKU. Coming to the global standing, it is consistently ranked among the top 20, currently number 11 according to QS rankings, and number 2 in Asia. Now coming to employability, this is the key stat. HKU ranks in the global top 10 of graduate employability. Also not to forget, Hong Kong is the regional headquarters for thousands of multinational corporations like Goldman Sachs, Google, JP Morgan, etc. HKU, being the best university in the country, is the primary recruiting ground. For an Indian student, this means access to high-paying jobs without necessarily fighting the H-1B work visa lottery battle in the US. Now coming to visas, students graduating from HKU along with 7 other public universities in Hong Kong are eligible for a direct 24-month post-study work visa, during which they can stay in Hong Kong, apply for jobs without any job requirement. Within those 24 months, if you get a job and if you stay there for 7 years, you're directly eligible for a permanent residentship in Hong Kong. Now coming to the campus vibe, HKU is not your typical sprawling green campus, it's a vertical campus. It's built right into the mountains of the energy here is fast-paced and cosmopolitan. You are just a short MTR ride away from the Central, which is the financial hub of Asia, which means the students can directly jump from a morning lecture directly into their internship. But the defining cultural experience at HKU is their high table dinner. Imagine Harry Potter meets professional networking. Students don traditional academic gowns and dine with their professors, alumni, visiting scholars at their sprawling residential colleges. It is a long-standing British tradition that isn't just about food. It's about socialization and building soft skills that you need for the corporate. The culture is competitive, yes, but deeply connected, especially if you secure a slot in the residential halls, which acts as a social spine of the university. HKU's curriculum is distinct because it breaks the Asian rote learning stereotype. They use a system called the Common Core, just like the other top Asian universities like NUS, NTU, HKUST, etc. Regardless of what you're studying, be it engineering or philosophy, you need to take core courses across 4 areas of inquiries, from science and technology to global issues. The standard degree here is about 240 credits. Your major typically consumes about 96 credits and your common core is about 50 credits, leaving roughly about 40% of your degree for free electives. This allows for extreme flexibility. You can do a double major, example computer science plus finance, or a major with 2 minors, for example a major in economics with minor in psychology and French. You essentially build your own tailored degree for your career goals. For Indian applicants, 3 faculties see the highest traction. First is HKU Business School. This is their flagship, the International Business Global Management course. It's arguably the most prestigious business undergrad programs in Asia. It's case study heavy and extremely competitive. There's a new trend we are observing where we are seeing high interest in niche finance courses like BSc Quantitative Finance. With Hong Kong being a massive finance hub, this degree is a pure gold, especially for students who have interest in finance and are good at math. Next up is engineering. HKU Engineering is accredited by the Washington Accord, which means your degree is considered equivalent to a US or a UK engineering degree, allowing you to work as a professional engineer globally. It offers a wide array of courses, with electrical engineering seeing the highest demand. And finally, School of Computing. The HKUST Computer Science department has recently separated from the School of Engineering, where they are offering a diverse set of programs in data science, information systems, AI, etc. Now, if you ask me what HKU stands out for, I would say it's dual degree program, which is in collaboration with some of the most leading universities in the West. The HKU plus Cambridge undergrad recruiting scheme. The structure is you spend 2 years at HKU and 3 years at Cambridge studying engineering. The outcomes, you graduate with a Bachelor's of Engineering at HKU and a Bachelor of Arts, Master of Arts and Master of Engineering at Cambridge. But here's the catch, it's fiercely competitive. You apply to HKU first and only the top performers are shortlisted for Cambridge interviews in the second year. Next is HKU plus UC Berkeley. Their structure is 2 years at HKU and 2 years at Berkeley. Outcome is you get 2 bachelor's degrees in social sciences. Now this is a strategic backdoor into Berkeley. Now, if you get into this specific track, maintain a minimum GPA, then your transition into the Berkeley track is pretty much guaranteed. Next is HKU plus University of British Columbia for business and commerce. Here the structure is 1 plus 2 plus 1. 1 year at HKU, 2 years at Canada at UBC and 1 year back in HKU. Now, why choose this? This gives you exposure into Canada's best universities and also boosts your chances in case you want to apply for master's degrees at top Canadian universities like University of Toronto, University of British Columbia, McGill, etc. Now, coming to admissions, this is where many students get confused. They all think abroad universities look for extracurricular activities, but HKU is academics first. I cannot stress this enough. If you are applying for engineering, economics, finance, business, etc., having mathematics is a mandatory component if you want to get into these programs, and having good grades boosts your chances. For CBSE and ICSE students, if you have dropped your math in 11th and 12th, you're mostly ineligible for the STEM-based program. Applied math is often accepted for CBSE students, but core math is what is given the most importance. For IB students, Math AA HL is the gold standard. Now coming to your grades, the university has specific cutoffs based on the program you're applying to. Coming to engineering or science, you need a minimum of 90+% overall and an aggregate of 90 to 95% in maths and sciences. That is for Indian boards. But for IB, it is 36 to 38 points with a minimum of 5 in maths and sciences. Now coming to business, economics or Quant Finance, these are hands down the most competitive and rigorous programs. For CBSE or ISE students, they are looking at a minimum of 92 to 95% plus in aggregate. For IB students, it is minimum of 40 points, often 42 plus for programs like IBG. HKU offers conditional offers based on your predicted grades. If your school counselor gives a predicted grades of 95% plus, you must get that score in your final boards to keep that seat. Now coming to SAT, ACT requirements, technically HKU is a test optional university for CBSE, ISE students. But my advice is if you have an SAT score of 1400 plus, submit it. It helps you differentiate yourselves from thousands of other applicants who apply with high board marks. If you have lower than 1350, it's better not to report it. Now coming to English proficiency test scores like IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo, etc., there's a good news for IB and A-level students. It is pretty much waived for them. And also for CBSE students who are scoring above 90% plus in their English exam. Now if you're not confident about that 90+% in your final result, take an IELTS exam, score more than 6.5, that acts as a backup. Now coming to personal statement, this is very different from your US Common App essay. The word count is 1000 words strictly. Coming to content, do not write a creative story. HKU wants an academic context. 75% of your essay should concentrate on your academic history, why you're choosing this major, and how does your career goals align with the program content. And also what academic projects you have done. And 25% should be about why HKU. Now coming to deadlines, HKU admissions operate on a rolling basis. But they have a first round, which is called an early round, which closes in late November. Now, the strategy is apply as early as possible in the first round itself. This is where the bulk of the scholarships are allocated. And scholarship deadlines are strictly there at early January. If you miss that scholarship deadline, you are considered for the regular admission cycle, but without funding. Now, coming to tuition fees for international students, the fee is about 250,000 Hong Kong dollars, which converts to roughly 26 lakhs. And living in Hong Kong is expensive, but the student housing is subsidized. Now for boarding and meals, it costs around 75,000 to 90,000 Hong Kong dollars per annum. Now the total annual cost, you should be looking at somewhere between 30 to 35 lakhs per annum. Now HKU is generous with merit scholarships. They offer something called the entrance scholarships, which are direct evaluations based on your grades. Here the benchmark for Indian CBSE or ISE students is if you're scoring close to 95%, you have a strong chance of getting either partial or a full scholarship. scholarship. State and national toppers often get full scholarships that also covers their living expenses. Now, HKU is not just a backup plan for the Ivy League. For the right student, it is a superior choice. It offers a high-value degree, access to Asian century economy, and a truly diverse classroom. However, the application requires strategies, especially in how you structure your academic narrative in the personal statement and how you fill out your major preferences. If you are targeting HKU or any other competitive global universities and help need crafting your profile or help with your applications, do reach out to us. Comment below which university you want us to cover next. See you in the next video.